Um, it's my pleasure once again to talk to my fellow Nigerians. Um, I know everyone have recovered from the shock we all got after 2023 election, and we will not give up. We will keep on uh, punching according to our weight or above our weight if we want Nigeria to move forward, because we know that some of our political class, it is not based on value political class, but based on interest. And each time we have political class that does not based on value, we will have a collapse a country or society. And I have no shortage of idea that Nigeria is developing, but I also have tremendous doubt that we are not developing as well, because sometimes in Nigeria we term infrastructure as development, but we don't know that the highest development is rule of law. Rule of law is the highest development. For instance, in Great Britain, their judiciary contributed 5% to their GDP. All right, but in Nigeria, we know the condition of our judiciary. All right, that is why this monster slogan is uh, in people's slaves, most important, most especially those who derives impunity in our society, go to court. Go to court. And it has become a common phrase that everyone uses, because the reason why is that when you go to court, there's no clear uh, understanding about the outcome of the court. And that is because of poor of rule of law. And every country that has developed had made rule of law as their bedrock of growth, of respect, of coexistence. Rule of law underpin many things, and in Nigeria, no one has regard in rule of law. That is why police will be at polling booths looking happily when people are snatching ballot boxes, when other people are beating up the voters and even shooting the voters. Police will just look at them happily. And I don't blame him, because if he can, or if he finally intervene, he may lose his job. Yes, he may lose his job. That is Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria for you. And I want to tell my fellow Nigerians that as long as this poor rule of law is concerned in our society, we don't need to expect any much development, because this poor status of rule of law in Nigeria will not allow us to elect a credible leader. We can the leaders that we have today are people who manipulate themselves into office, and whoever that manipulated or got to a political office through manipulation and intimidation is not different from a dictator who take power by force, by dictatorship, who take power by force. So we are at crossroad, if I may use that word, because of negligence of rule of law. So, I want my fellow Nigerians to begin to look into our judiciary, to begin to look into our rule of law. Don't wait for someone to advocate about rule of law before you make research about rule of law and ask yourself if you are opposing the rule of law from one way or another. Because whenever the law is being made, next thing is interpretation. And when the law is being interpreted, then it means that you and I have been educated about the law, and we have become a principle of law, either directly or indirectly. Someone don't need to attend law school before you become a principle of law. But as long as you have been educated about rule of law, that means you have become a principle of law. So we might not be fined at the presence of breaking the rule of law, but we might be aiding the breaking of rule of law from one way or another. And when we start to correct it, that means we have started to strengthening our law and our rule of law as well. So I think I have to stop here. Thank you for listening.